up, everybody? Welcome back. If this is your first time joining me, my name's Mike, and behind me is my 2006 Ford F350 with the special edition Amarillo package. And I have been kind of really fixing this thing up. I've had a few videos out now on like when I bought the truck and what I've done to get to the point where I'm at right now. The last video took me a long time. There was a ton of work that I did, doing all the patchwork, cutting out all the old rust underneath the cab. It was a ton of work, but I am happy to say that this cab right here is staying original to this truck. It's staying bolted to the frame and it's not leaving. The rust repair has been done, but there's still much more to do. So in this video, I would like to get the rest of the frame and underneath the cab all prepped and ready for fluid film. I want to descale the rest of the frame. I want to rust convert everything that needs to be rust converted. I want to paint everything that's got some bare metal on it. So that's enough of me chit-chatting. Let's just get right to work here. Need to get all the scale off here, off the frame. I'm going to take this skid plate off right here. It's going to be easier just to kind of take this thing off and needle scale it off the truck so I can paint both sides. The transmission cross member is in excellent shape. There's no scaling on it. It's just rusty. Just some rust converter will take care of that. It's just kind of the outer frame rail is what kind of needs to be done, especially from the front of the cab to the front frame horns, and the front axle needs to be done too. I'm also going to take off this piece here as well, and I also need to do the carrier bearing holder as well. But I'm just going to go under here, knock off all the scale, and just get this ready for a rust converter and just keep working along here. Okay, so I thought the front of this descaling of the frame and such was going to be a much easier project, but this is turning into a much larger project than I originally thought because there is some serious scaling going on this knuckle right here. The knuckles, this piece right here, you can see I've really descaled it quite a bit where this black is. That's down to good solid metal. The knuckle is what attaches to the axle tube and allows the wheel to turn and rotate on the ball joints. And then you have the actual axle shaft that goes through the knuckle into the axle tube into the pumpkin there. But over the years, this knuckle has created quite a bit of scaling going on. It needs to be descaled. It's savable. It doesn't need to be replaced, but so you can see that this outer piece right here, all that scale right there, and then look how much scale's on the inside here too. You can kind of see a layer right here too. All that's got to get taken off. This is just held so much salt and stuff. This is obviously still very thick and it's going to be safe, but it needs to come off. What I am nervous about is the fact that where the actual hub bolts to the knuckle itself, you got 4 bolts. They are so worn down from rust. I feel like it's at the point if I don't replace these bolts at minimum, that the hub can fall off, and when the hub falls off, the whole tire and assembly comes off, and that's going to be very dangerous. I want this truck to be safe, and if I'm doing this, I'm doing it right. I'm not going to cut corners, so we got to take this thing off. Okay, this is a huge reason why I wanted to do this. Look at all this scaling that was behind the dust shield. All this stuff right here, you can see, all built up right here. There's still just so much scaling built up that we gotta get off. Alright, I got new mounting hardware for my hub here. I mean, the old studs are fine, but the nuts are locked onto them, and look how worn down these nuts are. Like, this is how it's supposed to look. These are supposed to be 21s, and I was hammering 13, 16s, and 20s on these. Much better. Here she blows. Oh, here we go. The hub seal already came off this thing, and I'm happy to see that this U-joint, there's literally zero play in it, and there's a grease fitting on it too, if you can see here. And I put some grease in that when I first got the truck, so if I keep up with the greasing on this, I'm probably never gonna have to replace this U-joint because it's nice and tight and spins freely. But we got to get this old seal off. This is the new seal, the new improved seal that goes on the axle tube to keep any dirt and debris out of the tube there. So hopefully this one lasts a little bit longer than these, because these always fail in these trucks. And then we got the new hub seal here too. Okay, that came off way easier than I thought. This ain't gonna go good. There's a special tool to get these things on. I don't have it. That was a pain, but she's sealed on there. It's right where it needs to be. It looks like that seal is sitting nice up against the knuckle there again. It's sitting right where it needs to be. That seal looks great. Oh yes, nice. The C-clip in there is snapped on. You can see the copper piece back there with the two little eyelets. This axle now cannot shift back and forth. It is locked in place with the hub. Love to see that. It's right where it needs to be. As you can see here, there's still quite a bit of original frame paint left on this. The frame's in great shape on this truck. It definitely needs to be scaled down. The fuel tank's in my way to keep on going, so I gotta drop this tank, especially because what I just saw over here. So I was working on this carrier bearing hanger right here, and I noticed that there is a significant amount of scaling above the fuel tank here on the bottom of the cab. So unfortunately this tank's got to get at least dropped to the ground so I can take care of that. So let's drop this fuel tank. I'm gonna put the wheel back on and probably spin the truck around. Nice, that came out way easier than I thought it was going to. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Nice. You can see right there that that breather line is rotted in half, so I gotta do something about that. As well as there is a bunch of scaling on the bottom side of this cross member here. In the inside of the frame rail, there's gonna be some areas that need attention in there. So I'm happy that I've done this because this needs to be done for sure. And then the real reason why I took it off, there's quite a bit of scaling on the inside of the frame rail here that you'll never be able to get out without taking the tank down. And then all of this as well. All of this floor support here, you can see this right here. I couldn't get to this with the fuel tank in here, so it's good I took this thing out. Perfect. All right, that's fixed. She's hooked back up. I am really happy I dropped that tank and got that scale off there. I'm not worried about painting behind the inner frame rail because I'm gonna take my fluid film nozzles and just load the entire inside of that frame up. But it came out very nice. This tank had to come out regardless. I'm happy it did. The last area on this frame section that needs to be descaled, we have the front differential there that is very bad, and then the frame up here from the cab mount right there forward, which isn't that bad. But any of you guys that have been following along my videos know that on the passenger side, the coil tower bucket was just completely melted away. This one does have a severe amount of scale on it, but it is very savable. But I think I need to pull the coil spring out because there's some scale buildup in there in the corners. Probably all underneath that rubber piece there. So I gotta take this thing apart. And also, just like the other side, this steering knuckle has some severe scaling. So all this has to come apart, but this is the final stretch right here for descaling. I am so excited. I will be doing something about these shocks, FYI. This is absolutely insane. I'm so happy I am doing this. Look at it. Absolutely insane, and there's still so much on here. So just like on the passenger side, the inner axle seal is just blown out. So I mean, I'm this far, I might as well just knock this thing out and replace it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I will catch back up with you once I get the new once I get the axle back in with the new seals. Boom, we have a new seal, a new hub seal, and a new dust seal for the axle tube, and I put some new grease. Much better. A little bit of grease is your friend with this. Just makes it easier if it's ever going to come out. Alright, as you guys can see, the frame looks a little bit different now. I spent a little time off camera spraying it down with rust converter. So technically this is now ready for a new coat of paint, new coat of frame paint, and we're gonna put some primer on the bottom of the cab here too. So I just want to make it look as, it's not going to be perfect obviously, I just want to make it look as factory as I possibly can. Before we paint, I want to do one last thing to this cab, and that is replace some cab mounts. As you can see, this middle cab mount is in great shape still, but not so much back here. On the left side, it's just completely gone. So they used some silicone mounts on these things for a better ride, and just over the last 20 years they've deteriorated. So I'd like to replace the back mounts here and then the most front mounts. Alright, so you guys know me, obviously I'm going OEM factory Ford. They are a two-piece cab mount, so here's the part numbers. Bottom piece of the cab mount, there's the part number for that. And what you gotta do is just kind of pull the carpet back. That is the cab mount bolt, so we'll loosen that thing up and hope for the best. She's out. Oh, there we go, nice. There we go. You know, someone in the comments did mention to check the inside of these mounts here. We do have some rust in there that should probably get addressed. Huh. Hit it with the needle scaler, get all that scale out of there. But first, let's get that puppy unbolted. This cab mount is rawed itself together. Oh my god, it's not even considering to separate. If you like your truck, oil it. If you live in a salty environment. There we go. Looks much better up there. She is much cleaner. And then here's the front driver's side as well. Look at how obliterated these old mounts were. This was the back passenger side. This was the only bottom piece that was left. Like, look at that. Absolutely a must that those needed to be done. I'm so happy. This truck's gonna ride so much better with those new mounts in there. One more thing checked off my list. So you guys have been watching the series. You know that I painted the back of the frame already with Pour 15 and it's held up very good. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Alright, I do just want to make something clear to whoever is watching this. What I am doing right now is strictly just for looks. I want to get the frame and some other components black again like it looked from the factory. This is no sort of rust protection. going to call this video a wrap. We've gotten a ton done. I'd like to start out by saying, if you have made it this far into the video, I truly do appreciate you. If you could do one more thing for me down below, that thumbs up button, hit that please. I'd really appreciate that, and it'll go a long way. It'll push out this video to other people that might be interested in seeing me restore this Amarillo truck. But I just want to see how far I can get this YouTube channel going anyway. But we have accomplished so much. I'm happy to say that the whole underside, the whole chassis and underneath the cab is completely descaled and rust free. The painting I did on this truck, it's not a rust preventative. It's more of a cosmetic thing. I wanted to make it look as factory as I possibly could, so if I crawl under there, I want to see that the frame's black, or underneath the cab is like in primer like it would be from the factory. I'm going to be completely loading this thing up with fluid film, and that's going to be my rust preventative. So the biggest thing is you got to get the fluid film onto the clean surface of either the paint or the bare metal for the fluid film to do its job and protect it from the outside elements. You want to have, like, see how this is nice and clean, there's no flaking, there's no scaling, it's just kind of paint. And same with up here where I did not paint, there's no scaling, there's no paint peeling, it's just the actual steel. This is how you want to apply your oil undercoating. You want it to be able to grab onto the surface and create a barrier between the good steel and the outside environments. That way salt and water and moisture cannot penetrate through the oil protection onto the steel and make things rust again. If you create a good barrier and keep up with that barrier, it will not rust, and that's what I'm going for. So just a little bit of cosmetics on the paint to make the underside look good, and I'll be happy with that. So my next step or plan of attack for this truck is to get the actual cab, like the outer rockers and the roof, painted in the screaming yellow with a new clear coat, because you guys probably saw in the previous video I replaced rockers on the driver's side. I was happy to see that on both sides of the B pillars and the cab corners are staying original to the truck. So I got to do some paint work here, and obviously I needle scaled the pinch weld here, so we need new paint there. I want to get this looking decent again. And luckily on this side I was able to pretty much keep it basically all original. We got the original cab corner, the original back outer rocker, original B pillar. We just need to do some sanding and painting, and then the same for the front here. Original outer rocker. Gotta do some sanding and paint work though. And then the A pillar, I had to put a couple patches in here. It was just really thin. I guess you could still call that original, because I got to scavenge some old pieces from the old bed and weld them in place, so that old bed is staying with this truck forever. But that's my next step there. And then on top of the roof, above the windshield, moisture will sit here and actually start to rust. It's very hard to see, but there's a very small bubbling going on. I need to see if I can pull out this windshield trim and get behind it so I can sand it down to bare metal. But as you can see, the sun has done a number on this screaming yellow paint. The clear coat is basically gone, and the actual base coat is all cracked throughout the entire roof. The hood's horrible. This is also another common issue, is in these ditches. I think water and moisture gets between the panel and the actual sealant from the factory. Address any pitting and get it into primer, get a base coat on it and clear it. And then the sun just beats the heck out of this screaming yellow paint, so I want to get the outer rockers up here and the roof painted. And after I have that painted in its clear coat, I want to fluid film everything. I don't want to fluid film it yet because it's going to start seeping around the edges here and get oil all over this bare metal where I need to get some paint on it first. So once I get the cab painted, we're going to fluid film and probably put the new bed on too, actually. And then my next step would probably be to address the doors, so I can take the doors off and address them off the truck. So that being said, I got plenty to do to get this truck prepped and ready for fluid film. Finally, there's one last stage to do, but if you enjoyed this video, like I said, please hit that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. And you don't want to miss out. We got to get this beauty back to an okay looking condition. So I will see you guys on the next one.